Welcome in to CBS News 24/7. I'm Mugo Digwe. President Donald Trump is expected to speak from an Oval Office event any moment now on the heels of his call with the new Canadian Prime Minister. And Vice President J.D. Vance is on the ground in Greenland. We are watching his visit while President Trump continues to push for the U.S. to take control of the territory. Plus, harrowing stories out of Southeast Asia after violent earthquakes collapsed buildings and sent people running for their lives. But first, we start with an update from the White House on tariff tensions between President Trump and Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney. The president had a call with Canada's leader earlier today. The president says the call was productive and the two will meet after Canada's upcoming election. They exchanged fiery words after Trump introduced 25% tariffs on cars and car parts earlier this week. CBS News White House reporter Aaron Navarro is here once again to help us break all of this down. Aaron, good to see you. We understand Canada just released a readout of that call. What more are we learning?
Yeah, the Prime Minister talked about a further economic relationship between Canada and the U.S., but did say that he told President Trump that Canada would have its own retaliatory tariffs in response to the tariffs the U.S. is imposing when it comes to auto parts and reciprocal tariffs. In the readout from the Canadian Prime Minister, he said that officials within Canada will continue to intensify their discussions with the U.S. Secretary of Commerce when it comes to the economy. And he told President Trump that he would be, quote, working hard for the next month to earn the right to represent Canada in those discussions. Now, Canada still has a federal snap election that's going to happen in late April. And you saw the Prime Minister here, at least in this readout, at least voice hope that he will be the one representing the country in future talks with President Trump and the United States.
Yeah, we shall see what happens. And Aaron, the White House is responding to an order from a federal judge asking the administration to save all text messages sent in that controversial Signal group chat. What's going on behind the scenes of the Trump administration and their approach on how to handle the fallout here?
Yeah, we'll start with the ruling real quick. The federal judge here in Washington, D.C. said the Trump administration has to keep those texts used on Signal, an encrypted app that were sent from March 11th through March 15th. This is an app where you can set in the settings, and we saw it in some of the screenshots from The Atlantic, messages to disappear in 8 hours, in a week, in 4 weeks. And we heard from the White House on this. The federal judge says that the Department of Justice has to prove by Monday, March 31st, that they are complying and keeping these messages. But when it comes to the behind-the-scenes approach to this all, sources have told CBS News that President Trump has been irritated over this story, is watching it closely to continue to see how long the fallout will last. We have learned there had been talks within the White House amongst officials on whether Waltz should resign. Waltz never offered that, the National Security Advisor. President Trump never asked him to. And we've only heard from the White House and President Trump publicly that they still have confidence in his National Security Advisor.
Okay. Aaron Navarro, thank you so much for your time today.